Alright, in this video lesson you're going to learn how to actually start a 3D print on our Makerbot. So let's open up Autodesk Inventor, and we're just going to imagine that we're going to 3D print something. So I don't know what you've created that you want to 3D print, but follow along with these examples. So let's say I wanted to 3D print one of the puzzle pieces for a Soma cube. I'll just give it a second to load up here. Okay. Is it opening? All right. All right. So let's say you have a part that you want to 3D print. First off, you have to know that your object is 3D printable. So some things you just can't 3D print. They're just too complex or won't work because it might be too big for the printer or other reasons. And you can talk with me about the things you want to 3D print in order to find out if it's 3D printable or not. So let's imagine that this is the part that we want to 3D print and we're ready to print. What you need to do from your part file, so it needs to be open like this view. You need to go to File and let the print menu open up, and you want to click Send to 3D Print Service. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click on Options. I need to make sure the units are in millimeter because the Makerbot software will recognize this better, and it'll print your object in the actual size that you made it in. So whatever size you made it in 3D model space is what it'll print in. We'll leave everything else alone and click OK. And this is the part where you need to decide where you're going to save that 3D model. Put it on the desktop because it'll be a lot easier to find, and you're actually going to, since the Makerbot's not connected to your computer, you're going to need to send that file onto your Google Drive. So save it. Okay, I'm going to save that. I'm going to show you what I would do next if I were a student. It's going to open up a random website. Just close that. Go to your Google Drive. And where's the upload button? New file upload. Okay, and then go to your desktop. It's going to be, it should say 3D object. Click on open. Okay, and then once you know that's on your Google Drive, you're going to go to the Makerbot computer. You're going to log into your Google Drive. You're going to select the part, right click it, and download. And you can make sure that it downloads somewhere you know. So I can click on this arrow, show in folder. It went to my downloads. I can just drag that to the desktop of the 3D printing computer. I'm gonna replace it since I already have it there. And then on the Makerbot computer, that part, leave that readily available because the next step is to open up the Makerbot desktop software. So it might be in the start menu, it might be along the tools, but it'll look like this logo, the M with the circle around it. So we will open that up. Give it a minute to open. If anything pops up, just click OK. And then click on the Prepare button. So I didn't want that one open. So with that folder open, you can either, my favorite way is just clicking and dragging it right onto the Makerbot space. But you can also go to File, Add. If you click on Add, it'll open up the folder and you can click the part. Okay, and it'll add it. On the left side, you have several buttons. This is the Move button, the Change Position button. If I click on the part, this is a rotating button. So this is what I'm talking about. Sometimes Oh, and to move the world, you just hold down the right click button and move it around. The mouse wheel will zoom in and zoom out. These buttons here, they determine the position, the rotation. Okay. If you want to get rid of something, you just click on it, and then on the keyboard press delete. Okay, let's center that. So in order to change anything, you have to make sure that the object's selected. Okay, you can actually change the dimensions within the 3D model, but we don't want to do that. Okay, so this object is going to print best in this position. Okay. If I were to print it, let's say like that, that's also okay. It might even reduce the print time. But here's the meat and potatoes of this lesson. You have to click on settings. And once you click on that settings, you're going to make sure raft is checked. Your layer height is going to be 0.3, and your infill, make that 5%. Leave everything else alone. The number of shells should be 2. The extruder temperature should be 215 degrees Celsius. The material should be on PLA. Click OK. Click Preview. That Preview button is going to open up this window, and it'll tell you the print time right here. You can actually scroll through the layers and see how your print is going to turn out and the pattern that the internal structure will print in. So this is a small part, that's why it's only going to take 18 minutes. You can even see the raft here. And then if your printer is ready to print, this print button will be available for you to click. So if I were to click on that, the 3D printer will then start to run and begin the process of 3D printing your object. Alright, so that is the basics of how to get the Makerbot up and running. If you have any questions or need assistance with 3D printing your models, please do not hesitate to ask me questions.